After 7 years in corporate Britain, I've seen things they don't teach you in university. The unwritten rules, the silent expectations, the real reasons decisions get made. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on what actually happens behind the frosted glass doors. The performance review. Let's start with performance reviews. That annual ritual where your entire year's work gets reduced to a number or category. Here's the secret. Most ratings are decided before your review even begins. In almost every company I've worked for, managers are given distribution targets. Only 10% can be exceptional. 70% must be meeting expectations, and someone has to fall into needs improvement. That project that saved the company thousands, that extra weekend you worked, they matter far less than where you sit in the predetermined curve. I've watched managers argue for hours in calibration meetings, not about performance, but about which of their good performers had to receive a lower rating to meet the distribution. The system isn't designed to accurately reflect your work, it's designed to limit how many people qualify for the top. Bonus bracket, email, politics seemingly innocent. CC has more power than anyone admits. Being copied into an email chain isn't just about information. It's about creating a paper trail and signaling alliances. When your colleague suddenly copies your director on a routine exchange, they're not keeping everyone in the loop. They're escalating, creating visibility, or covering themselves. I've seen entire political campaigns waged through strategic CC editions, and those emails sent at 10 p.m. They're rarely urgent. They're performances of dedication. The same goes for the 5 a.m. messages. No one actually expects a response at that hour. They just want you to see the timestamp when you log in at 9. Meeting hierarchies of e-meeting has 2 agendas. The stated one in the calendar invite, and the real one that serves the most senior person in the room. Watch where people sit. In conference rooms, the unspoken power dynamics are revealed in seating arrangements. Who positions themselves opposite or adjacent to decision makers, who speaks first after the senior person, who makes eye contact with whom. The real decisions rarely happen in the scheduled meeting anyway. They happen in the pre-meetings or the casual conversations afterward. If you're only present for the calendar invite, you've missed where the actual influence happens. I once spent 3 months preparing a proposal, only to learn the decision had been made 2 weeks earlier during a smoking break between 2 directors. The budget, gamma thought, urgent spending freeze announced every Q4. It's rarely about company finances, it's about performance bonuses. Most executives receive bonuses based partly on how close they come to budget targets. Coming in significantly under budget isn't celebrated. It suggests poor planning. Coming in over budget affects their compensation. So what happens? The annual dance, aggressive spending early in the fiscal year, followed by mysterious cost control initiatives that magically appear as bonus calculations approach. Projects get delayed, not because they lack merit, but because approving them in Q4 affects someone's bonus, while the same project in Q1 would sail through. Restructuring realitation. A company announces restructuring. The official communication will mention strategic alignment and positioning for growth. What they don't tell you, most reorganizations have predetermined headcount reduction targets before a single meeting about new structures takes place. The organizational design is often worked backwards from the cost-cutting goal. In my last company, we spent weeks in workshops collaboratively designing our new department structure, only to discover the exact headcount numbers had been decided 2 months Earlier in a finance meeting, none of us attended, the promotion paradox. We want to promote you, but we need to see you already performing at the next level. Translation: do the higher level job without the title or compensation, and maybe eventually we'll recognize it officially. I've watched colleagues take on responsibilities 3 grades above their position, managing teams and major projects, while being told they're almost ready for promotions, sometimes for years. The most valuable career advice I ever received came from a director who said, "If you're already doing the job, either get promoted within 6 months or leave. Otherwise, you're teaching the company they can get higher level work at a discount." The consultant confession: when the company brings in external consultants at premium rates, the official reason is specialized expertise or objective perspective. The uncomfortable truth: often they're hired to deliver the message executives already want to deliver but don't want to be responsible for. I've watched leadership teams commission expensive analysis, knowing what conclusion they needed it to reach. The consultant's report provides the intellectual cover and external validation for decisions already made, from layoffs to reorganizations. 2. Investment priorities. The interview reality job descriptions list requirements like team player, excellent communication skills, and problem-solving abilities. What they actually mean: will tolerate office politics without creating problems, communicates bad news in ways that don't make managers uncomfortable, and can work around our broken processes without complaining too loudly. I once sat on interviews where the most qualified candidate was rejected because the hiring manager said they seemed to direct and might upset the dynamic. Code 4 might challenge how we've always done things. The real value of tells you networking matters. What they don't explain is how it actually works. The real value isn't collecting LinkedIn connections, it's in creating witnesses to your competence. People who have directly observed your work and can speak to it when you're not in the room. Career advancement rarely happens through formal applications alone. It happens when someone says your name in a meeting you're not invited to. The person who mentions you needs to have credibility and needs to have seen your work firsthand. Every promotion I've received came through someone advocating for me in conversations I wasn't part of. The exit truth: when someone leaves the company, HR will say it was to pursue other opportunities or for personal reasons. The reality is more complex. I've seen exits officially described as voluntary that were anything but subtle: pressures, unpromising career conversations, or strategic exclusion from key projects. Even more revealing: watch how quickly their role gets eliminated or absorbed if it wasn't really needed, or how quickly it gets refilled if the restructuring was really about the person, not the position. Conclusion: corporate world runs on appearances, politics, and unwritten rules. Understanding these realities doesn't make you cynical, it makes you effective. You can play the game once you understand the actual rule book. No one hands you, or you can make informed choices about when and where to challenge the system. Either way, going in with eyes open beats discovering these truths after they've shaped your career in ways you never chose. What other corporate secrets have you noticed? What unwritten rules govern your workplace? I'll be sharing more in future videos, so subscribe if you want the uncensored reality of British corporate life.